But dude, man, let's move on to man, it's time for 2024 Cup of America, hosted in the United States, right? United States hosting it, and as the host, usually the host play the first match, but that's ain't gonna happen because the defending champs tomorrow 8 p.m. on Fox. We got this matchup here, man. Yo,
Oh wow! Look at that.
Alfonso Davis versus Leo Messi and Argentina, the World Cup champs, the Copa America champs, and they're all in the building, my guy, man. What do you think about the Copa Americas this year? Because
Dude, man.
I believe the United States. Before we get to United States, tell me first, because I'm gonna get to United States. You know, I got a lot to say about United States, though. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
let
man.
you go.
Yeah, man. This so tomorrow's opening game. Argentina versus Canada. I feel bad for Canada, but Canada is my play tough, and the game is in Atlanta, Georgia,
Mm,
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. One of the best stadiums in the world, really.
yep.
I can guarantee you that there'll be more fans from Argentina than Canada in that stadium tomorrow. And Canada, the past few months, they have not been so playing so well. They did well before the last World Cup. I remember they beat United States and they finished what I think first or second in the qualifying rounds to go to the World Cup. But since the World Cup, they haven't been impressive. So I mean, I don't give them a chance. Yeah, they have Alfonso Davis as their best player, but I always say this: when your best player is a defensive player, it's not a good sign when you're playing teams like Argentina. Um, if your best player is in the midfield, it makes a huge difference. And I know it overlaps a lot, but I don't give them a chance against Argentina, man. I think Argentina is just a way better size. There's a reason why they're defending world champions.
So you
I
basically
think
saying that as a because Alfonso Davis is gonna try to do too much by himself and playing that
it would
hero ball that I
it,
don't like players be playing.
he would try to because he's the best player. And the rest of the players on the Canadian team all play in the MLS. No, no disrespect to the MLS. A bunch of them play the MLS.
Right.
So I mean, I mean, I- this is what I would do if I was. And I know it's a wrong strategy saying let's just play for a low scoring game or a tie because you know you can't beat Argentina. So just try not don't try to concede too many goals because you know when that time comes to of which team makes to the next round, everything comes, you gotta take everything into account. How many goals you scored and how many games you conceded. If I was a coach, that's what I'd be shooting for because I just don't see Canada, which I love Canada. I just don't see them giving Argentina a game. So I'm picking Argentina.
Oh man, bro, that's gonna be tough for me because
I don't know who you got, but
let me start the bullshit. This ain't gonna be tough. Argentina got this game. The reason, just like everything you can say, that's the reason why I really. But I really think that Canada, like, because it's a tournament and it's the first game, it's just like what happened in the World Cup with Argentina against Saudi. But I might not repeat because Argentina do got talent. Argentina and Di Maria coming back for his last international game at 36 years old. And bro, like, there's no major trophies international Messi has won without him. I know we don't talk about him most because Messi, of course, is the star. He's the light. But man, Dale Murray he has to at 36, like I say, man, and this is like I think this might be his last tournament. And the impact he's gonna bring in every game this guy played. And I've been watching him play for a very long time. And fun fact, Dale Murray actually and Messi started the international career together, I think it was 2008. And
they
now look
started.
at it.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did.
yep. And they won a Copa America together, they won a World Cup together. And for me, that factor alone, and the young cast with the Enzo, hopefully is healthy. And there's few Argentina players that play in the Premier League that you got to look at and be like, yo, Argentina got the squad. Even if Messi's gone, which is going to be a dip, but they're going to be fine. Just like Portugal, when Ronaldo leave, I think they're all going to be fine. But dude, for the main event, bro, man, this is because you are Captain America.
Oh man,
You
boy.
are United States. Now, United States roster is in, right? 18 out of 26 players playing the World Cup. And most of United States starters, the main starters, they all play in Europe. This is not like Canada where we talk about MLS. This,
Right.
this is a team that actually I believe got the talent and they also got players that could change games. When you talk about Christian Pullis, when you talk about Taylor Adam, I don't know how healthy he is, but he's a guy
He's,
you need in defensive midfield.
he's
Eunice Smith,
healthy.
go
They
ahead.
say they say right now they say he's healthy. He was on minutes restrictions,
Right.
but I think he's good to go.
If he's good to go with his leadership and the way he could actually control the game, and do not fall asleep on Musa. And of course, I'm not a huge fan of McKinney, but tell me, bro, what excuse? Because this the only time I could talk about United States. Every time I talk about United States, like there's so many games that have opportunity to win, but they play. I just don't, like the game against Brazil. United States played so well, but I think for settling for draw and giving the excuses so we went against the big dogs. Some of these big dogs are just names by the past or the history of the country. But now when you look at teams now in Europe or around the world, we can't just go by United States giving us any more excuses. Oh, we tried or we went against the big dog because most of these players play with these guys in Europe.
Right. Well, I mean, the first question before we get into that, between they played a couple games in the past couple weeks.
Right.
Between those two games, which which one is the true USA team? What do you think? Between those two games, which one is the true team? The one that got spunked,
5-1 by Colombia. Nah,
Colombia, or the one that played the one that played Brazil?
Colombia, Colombia was actually no. They won what? How many games in a row? They in form right now, right? And after United States fell asleep and didn't take, I won't say they didn't take them serious, but Colombia just attacked them and get the most out of it because Colombia was it's actually a better team, in my opinion, than Brazil, right?
It is. It is.
When it comes to team wise, I'm not talking about individual talent. But against United States is the redemption kind of shit. The United States, like I mean, against Brazil, United States like these redemption kind of games. Oh, we lost that last game. Let's give it all what we got here. If I'm answering your question directly, I think against Brazil because it was a draw. So I must say that I want that to be the United States team that hopefully that goes into the Copa America. It's hard, right?
It is. I gotta take a breath. And also, so they play this first game, Bolivia, and now I'm gonna admit I've not been following Bolivia as closely as I should, so I don't know a whole lot about Bolivia.
Right.
Um, but United States, I would hope by now all the experiments are done. This is tournament time.
Fact.
There's no more experiments.
True.
But I'm still worried. They can figure out who should who should be the number 9. That's the bit now. I know the midfield is more important, but the return of Tyler Adams has really helped the midfield. So I'm not really worried about the midfield, but I'm worried about that number 9 position. I mean, they for the past 5-6 games, there's no one number 9 that has started and finished the game. They just rotate them.
Right.
So that tells me that they're not sure who'll be the number 1, number 9, and I guess it could be go thin because the teams they will know who to prepare for, but they gotta have that figured out. And Musa and Timware, they gotta play well for United States for United States to go further in this tournament. If they don't play well, I just don't see how. Because Musa is probably the most physical midfield player the United States has.
Right.
You can't push him around. And I like the other midfielders they have. I love Tyler Adams, but I think if just Musa put it together, man, I think Musa would be a very important player to the team. Of course, Christian Pulisic, I mean, is Christian, but the biggest issue is our head coach. That's the biggest issue. It's
Yep.
not even the players, because I feel if I was given these players, I would come up with some kind of game plan. You know what I mean? And I'm not, and I know we can say a lot from our seats on the computer, but he has so much talent that he don't know what to do with it. So my biggest fear is will Greg make the necessary adjustments when the game is the game's going sideways?
Yeah.
Will do something stupid because he's not known to make in-game adjustments so well. He doesn't do that very well. So that's my biggest worry actually, not the lineup that he's gonna pick. And I'm glad that him and uh what's his Renner, they have kind of put that stuff together. They have figured that out. No, there's no problems there. You gotta play the kid, man. The kid is when the kid is at this game is one of the best young US players. So
Right. So if we play him, do you play him in the number 10
you gotta
with Musa, Adam, and
you're
with
right.
Arena?
You're right. You gotta play him at number 10. There's no inner position.
Right.
I mean, you can't put him in midfield. So you gotta play him at number 10. And I remember the last game I was watching him and Tim Ware had a good combination on that right side. So, and why does Tim Ware always play on the right side?
Well, because Christian Pulisic can't play in the left side. I mean, the right side. He always like coming up from the left because he's more of a he like. I think like when if you go back to the World Cup, right? I don't know how far you can go back. Think it, like the way Musa, I mean the way Timothy Weir and Christian Pulisic was playing, the way they move with the movement actually create help United States offensively to create some
Yeah,
chances.
but
So
don't you think you can move Timothy Weah around a little bit? No.
like meaning that he drop in the middle, go in the box, or what do you mean? Like move
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Like go a little bit in the middle of the field and then just stand on the right. Because he's a lefty.
That's the
Because
reason why that's the reason why he playing the right wing because he's a lefty. Because you notice nowadays most of these guys cut in the middle, like they
they kind
cut.
of they
Yeah,
kind of in the middle.
yeah.
But
When you look,
but I always think that's so predictable to defenders. Like every time every time he goes, it's coming back to his leg. You know what I mean?
no. I mean, tell that to Messi or Robin, all these left footers, bro. You know they going left, but you still can't stop them from going left. Though as a defender, I used to be so frustrated. I'm like, bro, no matter how you trying to block them from going left, they figure will always go left.
But I'm just saying he has great speed,
Right.
and sometimes like he'll play so well, he'll do everything right except that final ball.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, maybe because he's way at the corner flag and he's trying to cross the ball, but he got to put the ball back to his left foot
To the
to
left.
cross the ball. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe, and I even Christian Pulisic, move him around. I know he likes
So
to be on that.
Pulisic always move around though. If you watch his game, even with the club, he's actually the guy that could pick up the ball in the middle. He got a strong. I mean, he got the speed, and
He
he
got to
also
speed.
yeah he also I feel like his game has got better, especially this past season going to Milan.
Right.
And I just don't want him to feel like he got all the pressure on top of him. I want him to go out there just play fluid ball, relax, and play with your team. Because when you look at the United States roster, bro, there's a lot of talents in here. I know last game they won with 4-3-3. You got McKinney, Musa, and Gio in the midfield, and got Timothy Weir, Pet, and Pulisic as 4-3 as the front three. How do you create goal with these guys? That's the question. Now, like you already said about the number 9, Haji Wright, who who's gonna play that number 9? Number 9 with these guys need to be a guy that could actually hold on to the ball. Who knows
Exactly.
how to hold for the guys to show up? Who do you think could do that?
Well, Haji Wright, he has looked to me like he's probably the the most ideal number 9.
Right.
Now, Pepe, he doesn't hold the ball, but for some reason, he always scores goals.
Yeah. Right.
He always scores goals. And then Balogun, they brought him to be, you're going to be that big number 9. He can hold the ball. He can hold the ball a lot of times, but since he joined the team, I mean, he probably had like a couple good games. He hasn't really settle down and impress. And I keep thinking because they keep rotating these three players. There's no one player that I think they keep looking over the bench. Like if I make a mistake, I'll be out of this game. And I don't know if you can just play one player and finish the whole game. So I guess we'll find out on Sunday who's gonna start between the
Right.
three. Whoever gonna start, I can guarantee you they won't finish the game because they feel like they have so many number nines, so they gotta bring somebody in. But this last game, I was actually impressed. He played both of them at the same time, and I don't remember how he played them. So one didn't play number nine, but he played them at the same time. So I guess was hoping to create more chances,
Uh-huh.
which which they still didn't. So we'll see how it does again. How what kind of formation they use against Bolivia. Our defense is kind of suspect. Sergio Desk, he reminds me of Alexander Arnold. I mean, not the same body type, but he's a lefty and he loves to overlap.
Right.
And but when you play good teams like when they played Colombia, when you overlap, you don't have enough time to run back because this teams can attack you in a split of a second. The ball be
True.
on the other side really quick. So
Especially a team like Colombia that's informed.
right. So I lost Desk on that side is probably one of the most skillful players on the team, and he has speed. We have the speed because we're young,
Right.
and so and then our goalkeeper, my tournament, he has no competition. So that first game a couple weeks ago when he allowed 5 goals, he said he was disappointed in the whole team, blah 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 blah.
It's a
And he
but.
played and he played so well against Brazil. I'm gonna give him that. He's the reason why that game didn't go out of hand.
Yep.
But how
Single-handedly saved United States in that game against Brazil. I think
he
United States too. Christian Pulisic should have scored that goal.
right,
There's so many other chances in both ends, but the goalkeepers,
right,
like you say, I think in the group text when you said the both keepers, I mean, should be
right.
the man of the match in this game.
That's why
I,
I asked you that. That's why I asked you that question between the two games. Which one really tells us which is the real USA? Because he can play like that against Colombia, and then show against Brazil play like that. It's like they didn't take the first game that serious. What was the case?
but also like in the tournaments, like in any big game, your goalkeeper got to make great. Even if you look at some of the Champion League runs and some of these teams does, the goalkeeper stepped up. Like it's 11 men in the field for a reason.
Right,
And
right.
against, against Colombia he didn't show up. Against Brazil he did.
He
The other
did
thing
show
is
up.
that like I don't want United States to come over here thinking that this is a tournament because don't get me wrong, like there's a different way to play a tournament. We understand that in a regular season because it's a tournament. You want to at least get a point, especially now with the form. Well, that's not Euro. So the way the formats are going, like of course, the two teams, whoever put is one and two disqualified, right? And
Right.
The United States, I think the coach knows how to play a tournament, but he don't understand also like we need to win, not just draw games. Because when we go back to the World Cup, I was a little disappointed. Yes, we were happy to tie it against England.
Right, but
We only beat,
but
right,
could have won that game.
we could have won that game, but we only beat Iran. And you could go forward and say, okay, now we make it to the knockout stage. The Netherlands just showed us that there's no class, there's different level to this shit. Because now
Right.
you have to score to win.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Good point. Because in a tournament like this, not only should you look forward to who you're gonna play in the next round, you
right.
just kind of think about, oh, we're gonna just win one game, lose one game, and tie one game. Are we gonna be through? But guess what? If you come out second in your group, you're gonna play the best team in the next group. That's what happened at the World Cup. They
Yep.
met Netherlands, and what happened? Like you say, they show that they're just on a different class compared to the United States. So in this now in this tournament, I mean, their group kind of it it seems easy, right? USA, Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. I
Yep.
mean, Uruguay is probably the best team, right? In that group, that
Yeah.
would give that would give United States a really, but they can't be playing for number
Do
two
not
in that
underestimate
group.
Panama, man. Panama had made history before against
I
United
I
States.
I know, I know, I know, I know. Panama did that. That World Cup was nice. It didn't make the World Cup. What was that? Russia? Is that the World Cup they missed? I
Yeah.
don't think Panama did them bad. So I mean,
Yep.
I'm not overlooking Panama, but I think Uruguay has probably more talent. But if you
Yeah.
just if you just
And United States, I still think, like, for example, right, bro, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, right now, with the United States, I don't want to hear no excuses. The reason why I don't want to hear no excuses, like I said earlier, is about the fact that we have players that play in Europe, and we not just one player, not just two players. We actually got a handful of players, or you could
almost
count, and
almost the
then
whole team.
almost exactly, and then there's 18 out of 26 guys that played together already in a World Cup in the big stage, which is a tournament. So the experience is there. The age might not be there. Like I think the average age is 23 or something like that, but they have experience. When you look at Christian Pulisic, I think it's 68 caps for United States. I understand he's just a one man. And when you look at Yunus Musa, when you look at Taylor Adams, when you look at McKinney, all these guys have experience. Not just here, they also have Champion League experience. So
Exactly.
so I think that this is a big, huge opportunity for United States to present themselves as one of the best in the South America in the region of out here. And this is a tournament which I do believe United States will come out and play the ball. And again, like you said earlier, I agree with you, bro. It's what the coach is going to do.
What
you know,
what just died? You're right, because I'm just looking at the countries where all these players play. I mean, we're talking about Scotland, Italy, England.
right?
Uh, I mean, Netherlands. I mean, like top teams. So there's no, like you said, there's no excuse why they expect playing at home. And if they're trying to use this tournament as a stepping stone or to see where they stand in 2 years when the World Cup comes here,
Right.
they have to perform well. I wish I could speak to like all the fans in America and they could hear me. If you be hosting the World Cup in a couple years,
Yep.
this is excellent opportunity to practice to know how to root for your team. I want to show up in Atlanta that next game and you got 90% the other team. Come on.